A Daniel HOLTZCLAW billboard creates controversy. How one community got it taken down, and exclusive comments from HOLTZCLAW himself.
Plus, breaking news involving OU running back Joe Mixon, his first public comments about punching a woman in the face. Coming up at 10.
Always there for you. This is News Channel 4 at 10.
Welcome, and thank you for joining us for News Channel 4 at 10. I'm Kevin Ogle.
And I'm Linda Cavanaugh. We begin tonight with a convicted rapist and former police officer. Daniel HOLTZCLAW now back in the spotlight after a controversial billboard questioning the guilty verdicts he received. It was prompting an upcoming TV piece about HOLTZCLAW's trial and interviews with people who claim he was wrongfully convicted. News Channel 4's Abby Broyles joins us with that story. And Abby, you exclusively spoke with HOLTZCLAW on the phone tonight.
Yeah, that's right, Linda. And victims' advocates were furious when that billboard went up with HOLTZCLAW's picture questioning his guilt. HOLTZCLAW told me tonight he was disappointed the billboard has been taken down, but he's more focused on his appeal. And he told me he's confident he'll get a new trial.
I'm aware that the billboard has come down, and I'm a little disheartened. But I'm encouraged so much with the ongoing supporters who believe in my innocence.
This is the billboard Daniel HOLTZCLAW is talking about. It was up at I-44 in Kelly. A picture of HOLTZCLAW in his orange jumpsuit and the words, "What if he didn't do it?"
It's the visual. It's the visual of him.
Victims advocate Grace Franklin says she was shocked when she saw the billboard. She led the group of demonstrators at HOLTZCLAW's trial.
I couldn't believe that someone that would have the gall to put that on this side of the community, on the northeast side of Oklahoma City. It was so disturbing and such a slap in the face for those survivors.
This billboard didn't accuse the accusers of being liars, of being drug addicts, of being any of those things. It simply asked a question. What if he didn't do it?
Brian Bates was the private investigator on HOLTZCLAW's defense team and is featured in the series that paid for the billboard.
That billboard being up wasn't going to do anything to prove Daniel was guilty or innocent.
Right now, HOLTZCLAW's appeal is pending. His attorneys want more time after it was revealed that along with one of the alleged victim's DNA, another man's DNA was found on HOLTZCLAW's pants that wasn't his. Evidence never provided to the jury that convicted him.
I'm very confident in my appellate lawyer, and I'm confident in my team and the supporters that I have. I'm just very blessed to have that. I'm confident that all the new discovery that we have found throughout the trial, I'm pretty positive when I get a retrial.
As far as putting the billboard in northeast Oklahoma City where HOLTZCLAW patrolled, I reached out to the media outlet producing the series. They released a statement late tonight saying in part, quote, "CRTV supports free speech. We are disappointed that Tyler Media caved into pressure to take down the billboard," end quote. And that billboard company, which is a division of Tyler Media, said it took down the billboard because it was in the best interest of the community. Kevin.
All right, Abby, thank you. And we are following breaking news tonight. Sports director Brian Brinkley joins me now on what some are saying is a very late apology from OU star Joe Mixon.
That's right, Kevin. 2 years after OU running back Joe Mixon punched a woman in the face at a campus corner restaurant, he is now issuing an apology. Mixon released the statement tonight against his lawyer's wishes. Coming up in sports, we'll tell you what Joe Mixon says he did wrong the night he broke a fellow Sooner student's face.
Now, first weather from the Forewarned Storm Team.
What an interesting day Oklahoma weather-wise today. A clash of seasons. We had fall, spring, and a little winter all in our state today as a strong storm system traveled right across Oklahoma. And we definitely had some springtime thunderstorms. Those storms now have pushed very, very quickly on off to the east. They're east of Tulsa now, down to east of Okemah. They're pushing away with the front. And chillier weather building in. Heavier storms now moving through Pittsburgh County right into McAllister. These are producing heavy downpours of rain and some shot-size hail, very small hail, and a little bit of lightning here. A brief, good, heavy downpour of rain. That's nice. Let's check out Chance Cold Iron's video here from one of our trackers earlier. We had one little spinning gust front mesocyclone here that moved through the Ardmore area. They had some pretty high wind and some nickel-size hail there. Well, right now the storms have completely pulled clear of Oklahoma City, and Kevin and Linda, the chilly is really moving in. How does this change Thanksgiving and perhaps the weekend weather? I'll have that forecast coming up.
Well, you can tell it out there now, Mike. Thank you. Human remains found in rural Oklahoma County this morning. This was the scene that John Welsh was showing us from Bob Moore Chopper Ford near Southeast 15th and Harrow Road. New tonight, Authorities working to find out who died and how. News Channel 4's Kristen Shanahan's been following the breaking story all day. And Kristen, you were in a very remote area today of the county.
Yes, Kevin, investigators were searching a heavily wooded area near Southeast 15th, east of Harrow Road, like you said. Today's search was successful. Deputies recovered evidence that will hopefully tell them what happened. A chilling discovery Tuesday afternoon. A hunter stumbles upon a human skull on this property not too far away from the Mabel Bassett Correctional Center. By helicopter, horseback, and foot, the Oklahoma County Sheriff's Office and Highway Patrol have been searching the southeast Oklahoma land.
We have to be very careful. One of the things this is a crime scene. It's also an area that's covered with leaves and limbs and other debris. So we want to make sure that we don't miss evidence.
Along with the skull, detectives found other body parts and clothing. Investigators believe the remains belong to an adult.
Of course, it's too early to know anything about a potential cause of death. Also, it's too early at this point in time to make any speculation as to male, female, or anything else about the individual. We are checking missing person reports that have been filed in this area, and they'll give us at least a starting point to begin making some DNA comparisons.
The sheriff says it appears that the person died on scene and there's no clear signs of foul play. Many questions remain unanswered as the state medical examiner's office starts the identification process. Now, there's no timeline on when the medical examiner's office will have the results. We're told that the remains may have been there for 1 to 2 years. Deputies suspended their search at dark tonight. They'll be back out there tomorrow. Linda.
Thank you very much. The Sayre Police Department and the OSBI are investigating a homicide and arson. Firefighters responded to a house fire early Tuesday morning. Police received a tip that a victim was inside. They found a body badly burned inside the house, identified as Jerry Essery. The victim's wife, Pam Essery, says she witnessed her husband's murder. She says she got away before the suspect set the house on fire. Officials say the suspect is a man Pam Essery used to date, and things didn't work out, so they broke off.
She said that he busted in on them and held them captive and told them, had her handcuffed to the refrigerator. And she said he went in, grabbed a pillow, put it over his head, and shot him. And then he set fire to the house.
The suspect was found unresponsive in his pickup truck not far from the home where the homicide and arson occurred. Once the suspect is arrested, OSBI will release his name.
Well, it took a bullet from an officer's gun, but Edmond police have a wanted man in custody tonight. All started Monday night inside this mobile home near 15th and Kelly. It's a mobile home park there. That's when Atreus McGee showed up on the doorstep of some family or friends. They didn't want him there and told police about his criminal record, which includes charges for rape, kidnapping, and robbery. Neighbors saw McGee lurking around with a gun, so they called 911.
I seen a guy with a gun, and it was just not just me, it was some other people running around. I just don't want to get hurt nobody here, and especially in trailer park, and I got my kids and everything.
Well, after trying to hitch a ride, police found McGee on the front porch. He ran, and police shot him in the leg. After interviewing him, Edmond police will send McGee to the Oklahoma County Jail.
There were dual earthquakes that rocked Cushing earlier this morning. 3.3 and a 4.0 magnitude quakes. They came just 2 weeks after that 5.0 caused extensive damage in the Cushing downtown area. It's rattled many residents who already have frayed nerves. This morning, city and county leaders met to discuss long-term recovery options. Unfortunately for this community, the damage estimates so far don't meet the threshold for either federal or state assistance. But leaders stress the need for mental health assistance as well.
After this morning, they just feel like they're suffering PTSD. It's so traumatic, and you don't know when it's going to happen, and you got damage from the first one. Is this going to affect the second? Are my walls going to come down? Are my chimneys going to fall this time?
Payne County Emergency Managers says that they will look to volunteer organizations to help fill the gap in assistance.
Next in weather.
Some of our viewers on Facebook were just calling these clouds just plain weird. Well, there were spring-like clouds right here in the latter part of November as thunderstorms were going up near sunset. You might have noticed this, little lightning off to the east. Well, now the colder weather's moving right back in. What to expect in that Oklahoma weather? Your forecast is next.
Plus, I'm one-on-one with Ree Drummond, the Pioneer Woman. I'm going to show you her latest project, and it's drawn fans from around the country and around the world. Next.
You're watching News Channel 4 at 10 with Linda Kavanaugh, Kevin Ogle, Mike Morgan, Brian Brinkley, and Scott Hines in your corner. News Channel 4, always there for you.
She traded high heels for cowboy boots and skyscrapers for pastures. And in the end, it made her a household name. Ree Drummond, the Pioneer Woman. Blogger, photographer, cook, TV show host. But what has she gotten herself into now? Her latest project had her wondering at times if she'd bitten off more than she could chew. Join me one-on-one with the Pioneer Woman in the place it all started, Pawhuska, Oklahoma. They were the skyscrapers of the prairie. Sentinels guarding what used to be in Pawhuska. Now a celebration of what is. Come on in to the Pioneer Woman's latest project. She calls it the Merc.
And we bought it before I actually saw the inside of it. And when I walked in, I was like, honey, what are you thinking?
Years of repairs and renovation, keeping much of the old while making it 21st century ready.
It was overwhelming toward the end of the construction. My husband and I would just look at each other and say, oh my gosh, it's never going to end.
But end it has. The Merc is open for business, and what a business it's doing. Customers daily double Pawhuska's population.
It was a mercantile store, and so we started just thinking about it as a store.
Everything in the Merc, handpicked by Ree.
I just looked for things that appealed to me, that sort of appealed to my sense of color and fun. And this is the bakery upstairs, but up here is where all the carb happens.
All the happiness.
I have a special fondness in my heart for the bakery space.
What else for you?
So do customers.
Blueberry scoop. What else for you? Get them right here. Yeah.
Sales are brisk.
Get you over here, my friend. Y'all take cash.
For employees, it's frantic.
Love it. Makes the day go by faster.
Thank you. I just can't even begin to describe the carboliciousness up here. We have a lemon bar that I need to talk to my father-in-law because they go really fast and it's hard to get them. And part of that is because my father-in-law comes up here and takes them.
What do you recommend?
Hey, listen, anything you eat there's going to be good.
Meet father-in-law, lemon bar connoisseur, and crowd favorite, Chuck Drummond.
I'd rather have your signature than anybody's.
Chuck entertains and visits with those lined up to eat. Wait time, 2.5 hours.
I'm going to get my chair and go to sleep.
Opened a month, the Mercantile menu has drawn visitors from around the world and all 50 states.
Where are you all from?
Atlanta.
Atlanta, Georgia? Holy cow. But I guarantee you, the chicken fry here will be the best you ever ate. And if it's not,
come back and talk to you.
Come back and tell me, and I want to go where you say it's better.
What does that say to you that people are waiting 2.5 hours downstairs to get in to eat?
They're hungry. It's overwhelming.
And overwhelming for other Pawhuska businesses, like Buffalo Joe's Restaurant. They're benefiting from the Merc straw.
And Ree, I guess, talked to some people today and they didn't want to wait to eat, so they just shopped and she sent them down here, and we're just really thankful. How are we doing, ladies?
It's 2 o'clock in the afternoon and the restaurant is filled.
Thank you guys for driving here. How are we doing, ladies?
It's an economic boost.
How is it, guys?
Unlike any Pawhuska has seen in years.
And how are we doing over here?
Oh, it's fine. Great. Wonderful.
Such is the draw of the Pioneer Woman.
It's a beautiful day to take a drive.
Ree spends hours signing books and mementos.
Hi. What's your name?
She visits with everyone.
We'll have to come back on a weekday.
And few leave without asking for a photo.
Thank you.
It's a Facebook fantasy land for visitors who've traveled hours to get here.
Is this for you, Zoe? Yeah. Oh.
The Merc is just the latest in a line of successes for the Pioneer woman. City girl turned country gal.
You know, I started my blog on a whim. It grew to something that I had never planned, and cookbooks came and my TV show, so never could I have pictured any of that happening, and we're trying to make it an experience for people who come, so I think that's why we've had so much fun, because I'm loving it.
And Ree is usually at the Merc daily, but she doesn't have a set schedule. And it's a family affair. Her husband, Lad, also known in the blog as the Marlboro Man, often stops by to visit with folks, and her kids are often there. The Merc will be closed on Thanksgiving, but will reopen on Friday. Check their website for hours.
Tonight's Forewarned forecast is sponsored by Eskridge Auto Group. Now, here's Oklahoma's leading meteorologist, the Forewarned Storm Team's Mike Morgan.
Well, we just had a late entry in the weird cloud category today from Little Axe from Dee. Dee, appreciate that. She just sent this in. She might have seen the top of the newscast. We were talking about these weird-looking clouds. Well, this was the dry line over here to the east of Norman, and these eventually developed into thunderstorms just after sunset. But now the cold front, well, it has breezed on in. It's getting chillier outside. This is the low for the day so far. We are 50 outside. The winds from the northwest at 13 miles per hour. This morning, the low was 57, and we're within 2 degrees of tying a record high today. 76, a record high would be 78. Temperatures now are heading down. Again, it isn't Arctic air, so it's not really, we'll just call it sharply chillier rather than colder, because it isn't Arctic air, but it is going to be a little brisk in the morning. Jacket or sweater weather. Temperatures are down in the low 50s and the upper 40s. The cold front now runs from about Ardmore to the east side of T-Town. It's in the 60s and humid in southeastern Oklahoma. Then the low 50s, the upper to mid 40s, the mid 40s, the low 40s, and it's a little rain snow mix out there in the Panhandle tonight out west of Guyman. The winds coming in from the northwest, and they're gusting to 25 and 30 miles per hour. It's a strong jet stream storm system that is classic for Oklahoma weather. If it were late April or May, this would have been a tornado outbreak day. Just isn't as unstable this time of year, and the days are just not as long, and storms don't quite have the opportunity to really get going this time of year because the days are so short, and it isn't hot and humid like it is in April or May, but you can still see that they got the job done. Thunderstorms did go up, and some of these did produce a little hail and some pretty high wind, especially down in south central Oklahoma. Now they're way east of Tulsa, and they're moving on out very quickly. There they go as the cold front sweeps on in, and then from near Okemah eastbound from there, Lake Eufaula eastbound from there, and the rain even ending in Holdenville now. Pretty good line of fairly heavy thunderstorms moving through Pittsburgh County right now, and that extends from east of McAllister down to Durant in southeastern Oklahoma, and then down into northern Texas near Dallas. Here in Oklahoma City, skies are partly cloudy outside, and as you see there, the storms went up literally on the eastern sides of the metro at about 7:15, 7:30 this evening, but now it's about the chilly weather building in. We'll have some low-grade cloud cover come in for a while tonight, so it could start out kind of gray for a few hours in the morning, and then skies will clear as the morning hours move along. And eventually late tomorrow, those gusty northwesterly winds, they will start to come down. But temperatures will probably hold in the high 50s for daytime highs tomorrow. So overnight tonight, any storm chances over in eastern Oklahoma pushing away. Mid 40s, low 40s, upper 30s, lower 30s for lows tonight. 44 in the morning in Oklahoma City. Northwest winds 15 to 25. And for your Wednesday, again, could be a little gray for a few hours in the morning. That gray cloud cover will shift over into eastern Oklahoma as the day moves along. Middle to upper 50s in most of Oklahoma for daytime highs. 59 here in Oklahoma City. You know, Thanksgiving still looks really nice. We've had this map for like 10 days now. Upper 50s to around 70 across the state for highs for Thanksgiving. South winds will gradually pick up, even a southwesterly wind. Every bit of 67 here in Oklahoma City. So the jet stream pattern between now and late Sunday, no real problems here. So travel in and out of Oklahoma Wednesday, Thursday, Friday looks just fine. By late Sunday, here comes a pretty strong storm trough. That's a chance of showers and storms, and then one right behind it for next Monday night and Tuesday. So there may be some snow possible. Very light opportunity of rain snow mix in parts of the state, but probably not cold enough. And then right as we head toward Bedlam Saturday, Our next storm system should be heading our way. We will see what that brings us. Of course, that is still quite a ways down the road. We're talking about 10 to 12 days from right now before Bedlam gets here.
Right.
However, we'll keep a close track on that weather for you because it is an awfully big game.
Yeah,
just a little.
So 67 for Thanksgiving, and the weekend looks really good, but I think the weekend will probably end wet by late Sunday after a windy day. Sunday's high 69 degrees.
Okay, Sunday's not bad.
Yeah.
Had a little rock and roll tonight in the weather
It was
department.
definitely spring in November. It was pretty interesting to watch.
Yeah, sure was. Thanks, Mike.
Well, up next, both OSU and the Thunder have late night games. Brian's going to show us some of the early action.
And OU running back Joe Mixon released a statement today about that campus corner incident from 2014. It's next.
Now sports with Brian Brinkley.
There has been a lot of debate about the incident in which OU running back Joe Mixon punched a woman outside a Campus Corner restaurant in the summer of 2014. And now there's one more thing to talk about, an apology from Mixon 28 months after the incident and a day after a judge threw out 2 of the 3 claims of Amelia Molitor's civil suit against Mixon. KFOR obtained a copy of Mixon's statement that was written without the approval from his attorneys. Mixon claims racial slurs were directed at him and then says he was shoved and then slapped, but doesn't specifically mention Molitor, the woman he punched. He went on to say, for the last 2 years, my lawyers advised me against speaking publicly about an incident that occurred very shortly after I arrived at OU. I apologize to Amelia Molitor and the friends who were with her that night. I apologize to my teammates, coaches, the University of Oklahoma and its fans. I apologize to my family and friends. I realize I let a lot of people down. I apologize to all those I disappointed or hurt. He went on to say, I believe that over time I can prove that my past mistakes do not represent who I really am. And he concluded by saying, I do not intend to comment anymore on this matter. Meanwhile, Mixon was suspended for the 2014 season by OU. He's now a redshirt sophomore, and he and his Sooner teammates will play for the Big 12 championship a week from Saturday at home against Oklahoma State. Barring something unusual this weekend, that game will match top 10 teams in the college football playoff rankings. The new rankings coming out today. Here's the top 5. It's Alabama, Ohio State, Michigan, Clemson, and Washington. But the Sooners and Cowboys are creeping up. OU at number 8 and OSU at 10. Still a long shot for either team to make the playoffs, but you never know. The Oklahoma City Thunder played most of the first month of the season at home. The next month will be mostly on the road, and it starts with a 3-game road trip, beginning with the LA Lakers tonight. OKC beat the Lakers on October 30th at the Peak, but LA has been playing well lately, and these are not the hapless Lakers that had Kobe Bryant on the team last year. It was a decent start for the Thunder as Billy Donovan was looking on. Victor Oladipo the steal and Russell Westbrook the lay-in on the other end. It was 8-6 Thunder. Then Enes Kanter with the dunk here. He had 6 points in the first quarter, but then the Lakers started to pull away later in the first. Lou Williams gets the 3 here, and he's fouled by Samaje Cristone. 29-16 Lakers after the first quarter. Right now the Thunder trailing by 5. And the OSU basketball team playing in Maui. Brad Underwood's team facing 4th-ranked North Carolina. Boy, the Tar Heels are good. Lindy Waters got the steal, but he got his shot blocked on the other end, and the Tar Heels made them pay quickly down court. Kenny Williams knocking down the 3 to make it 16-4. Cowboys are trying to hang in there. You'll see Jeffrey Carroll knock down a 3, but right now OSU trailing 34-19 midway through the first half in Maui. We are back with more after this.
I predict a heat wave from the
candles.
my goodness!
Look at this. Happy birthday.
Oh, time flies, doesn't it?
It does.
Thanks for the birthday.